Happy New Year, everybody. 2018 already. I'm just making a quick video for you guys who wanted my opinion on something that has been apparently a hot topic all week since it aired live on television quite a few days ago. So I thought it would be easier just to make a quick video as opposed to a post, because sometimes with a post, if it's too long, the message can get lost, or your opinion can get lost through it, because nobody's gonna take the time to read through all that stuff, no way, and really take the time to grasp the message. But quite a few people sent me a link from the new season City of Love and Hip Hop, and wanted to know what I felt about the conversation between the girl Amara and her producer or manager or whatever he was. I didn't know what was going on. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. I don't support the franchise at all. But as far as I'm concerned, what he said to her is what executives in the industry behind the scenes say to primarily the women all the time. We're not new to this. I'm not understanding where everybody's outrage is from. What he said is what they expect and what they want. You know, and he made it a point to mention a name that executives in the music industry tend to use as the blueprint, and that's Queen B, the Beyonce. You know, if you don't look like her, if you don't, do what she does, they really are not interested. And that's okay, because Beyonce is hella talented. I'm not taking nothing from her. We love her like the rest, but depending on what's going on, she's the blueprint, and people don't want to see that. I'm more concerned with whether or not this Amara girl is going to stand in her truth. And if she is going to stand in it, how long is she going to stand in it? Because everybody has a price. This girl is not new to the industry. So for everybody who wants to pretend now to be outraged, where were you 5, 6, 7 years ago? Because again, I'd never heard of her. So before I chose to give my opinion, I said, let me research, let me see. This girl has been making music for years. She's been trying to get on for years. And that's the purpose of Love and Hip Hop. You know, it's a show for people to get a platform so they can build their own fan base. You all weren't supporting her before, so why are you so outraged now? What he said to her is what goes on, but let's see how long she walks in her truth, because she's not even accepted by majority of her own people. Let's see how long it takes before her hair is straight, before she blows it out, before she makes changes. Even to her body, she looks very different than some of the videos I saw posted of her 5, 6, 7 years ago. So she's slowly conforming to what they want her to do. A lot of people have a short price for success, and they want it so bad they're willing to sell their soul, and the music industry is the devil's playground. For those of us who happen to be of darker hue, we've lived that our whole lives. Some people's stories are more extreme than others. Some people are not. But I'm just wondering why everybody is using now to be outraged when nobody was outraged X amount of years ago, when Tyra Banks, America's Next Top Model's first season debuted, and Ebony, Pretty Chocolate Ebony, Tyra Banks, another black woman herself, had the audacity to look that girl in the face, and I'm paraphrasing her, but what she said was, your pictures are the hardest to retouch. And exactly what she said is, your skin is beautiful, but it's the texture. What the fuck does that mean? The texture? What's wrong with the texture? This is the issue in our own communities, where you have light-skinned blacks who oftentimes, are reared up, and society makes them feel like they're better than the darker-skinned ones. That's what that guy was trying to tell her. Both of them are from Latin, Hispanic backgrounds. He didn't see her as anything as a part of a community that he's a part of. He was looking at her like she was so taboo that it was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like that hair, that skin. Many Dominicans I know, 18 shades darker than me, tell me to my face, Munchal, I'm not black. I'm not a person of color. I check the white box. You're going to hear me say what I've always said. If you know me personally, I say it at least once a week. You can check whatever box you want as a person of color. When you walk, if you make it that far, into the boardroom with Joshua is going to let you know, honey, in a humiliating type of a way, but straight to the point, that you are not, and you will never not be one of his people and or his equal. Y'all can check whatever you want. Hispanics don't even want to be considered a person of color themselves. Not necessarily specifically just black. Most of them don't want to be considered a minority at all, but a lot of y'all, you're learning, aren't you? Because Puerto Rico, y'all are black. Niggas, they treating y'all down there the same way that they treated them black people during Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, y'all are a part of American soil, but you are not a priority. No matter how many light-skinned ones of y'all there is, darling, you are not a priority because you're seen as a minority. So keep on checking that other box. Keep on checking that white box. Colorism is something that will never go away. We can have the discussion. We can yell. We can scream. We can fight. This girl has been trying to get a music deal for years, and I read that she just got an offer 2 days ago. Why are you just now offering her a deal 2 days ago? Why? Because of all of this backlash and all of this outrage? Because she has been trying to get on for years, and she most likely has not been on for the same reasons that that guy described to her face. They may not have told her that to her face when she sat in these meetings, but they probably hit her with that, don't call me, I'll call you line that people give. Where is the outrage? The music industry is built on that. There isn't a person that I don't know, myself included, who grew up on Destiny's Child music. Specifically, I'm going to focus on them. If you ask any of them who was your favorite member in the group, all of us say Kelly Rowland. But who was the one that they pulled to the forefront and who got the success? Yeah, y'all can be outraged and want to support this girl now, but when she releases music and gets a full-fledged deal, guess what? Are y'all gonna flock to the stores and buy her music? Are y'all gonna sell out her shows the way y'all sell out Beyonce shows? If she gets nominated for a Grammy and does not win, are y'all gonna be as outraged as you were because Beyonce didn't get Album of the Year last year? I don't have time for wishy-washy people who want to jump on the bandwagon for dark-skinned people, and I'm specifically talking to my light-skinned black people. Whatever you are, whatever God made you naturally, you're supposed to walk in that with pride. If you are light-skinned, damn near white, can pass the brown paper bag test and all of that, or if you 18 shades darker than tar, or you're so black till you're blue, walk in that truth. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not good enough. But I don't have patience for the light-skinned blacks that feel like they want to jump on the dark-skinned bandwagon now and patronize us. If you know me, you know my mother was born and raised in Mississippi, the most racist state in this country. I talk about her all the time. And if you know my mother personally, you know she has hella deep colorism scars. If you know us, you know that my mother always, to this day, 4 decades later after having her children, make a point when myself or my brother or certain members in the family walk in the door, the first thing or how she addresses us is, here come my pretty dark chocolate, here come my handsome dark chocolate. She always made a point to make sure that we never felt out of place. My mother wouldn't even let me play with white dolls because she didn't want me growing up with a complex. Mind you, her grandmother, my great-grandmother, a woman who was sort of kind of black, but not really black. Skin was so light, she was able to pass in Mississippi. She raised my mother with a joy and a pride in the color of her skin. And my mother, coming from certain things and enduring certain things, always said she did not care when she had children if her children were retarded. She did not want us to be light-skinned. She didn't care what was wrong with us if we had one eye and 2 fingers. God, don't give me no light-skinned children. She loves her dark skin, and that's what she prayed, and God gave her that. I've dealt with my own colorism issues, and I was not born in the South. I'm born and raised in New York. I had a black woman sit across from me 15, 16 years ago in a job interview and tell me she thought my complexion was too dark for television. Another light-skinned black woman. It's not going anywhere because certain light-skinned black people have chosen or feel like they are superior because that's what society and people have told them. So again, what this guy said to her as far as standards of beauty, that's what the world sees. So now everybody wants to all of a sudden support the dark skin and we love you. Cut the bullshit, because y'all ain't about to pass up Kim Kardashian for no Lupita. Y'all are not about to bypass a Chanel Iman over an Alec Weck. So for those of y'all who want to now be so supportive, cut it out, because it ain't a light-skinned black person in this world that would trade places with me. And I know some of you are like, oh, but there are women in the industry who are dark-skinned. You're right. Whitney Houston was a nice chocolate sister, but there is no other body in this world ever gonna be that bitch. Because guess what? No matter if Whitney Houston had one eye and half of an arm, when she opened her mouth, you saw past any color that she had. And even though she was chocolate, Whitney Houston was classically black beauty, naturally. Add all that talent to it. She was one of few. I'm not saying that there aren't successful dark-skinned women in the industry, but look at all of these singing competitions that they have on these television today. Those shows are not solely based off of vocal talent, because if they were, a lot of people who got as far as they did or who actually made it all the way to the end would not have made it. It's solely based on the aesthetics. We know people that we went to Howard University with. We know people that we grew up with who got vocal range, ability that will blow your mind and bring you to your knees. nominees, and they have been a part of these shows. And guess what? They were voted off. They didn't make it all the way to the end. So where is all this outrage coming from now? Y'all are not going to support each other. You Hispanics are not going to support each other. Some of y'all are going to stand up and really cheer for her, but the rest of y'all behind closed doors are calling her, dark-skinned monkey, African booty scratches, all the things that we can go on. Tar baby. I can give you stories upon stories. People have asked me, they can't believe my teeth are so white and my skin is so dark. All you black people who are caught up in this hair that I have, listen, nobody walks into these boardrooms and care but black folks. They don't see neither one of my grandparents from the white side to the Native American side. They don't see that. They see my dark chocolate face. People are even surprised when I say I prefer to date men that are darker. I even had an adult look me in my face one year and say, dark. I would have expected you to, like somebody light-skinned. You don't want to give your kids a chance? The fuck does that mean? So if my husband is dark-skinned and I have dark-skinned children, what does that mean? They don't have a chance? All of this stuff is ingrained, so miss me with all of the wannabe antics and outrage, because y'all are not going to do anything. You might get behind the computer screen and say a few things, or in front of a certain crowd, pump your fist, but you black men who are jumping the fence, or who are solely only dating outside of your race or somebody lighter, hoping and praying that your kids don't look like your grandmother or your mom or what you see when you look in the mirror, nobody is buying your antics. That's why I am not flattered when somebody light-skinned gives me a compliment about my skin. I hit them right back with it like, oh, I know it's beautiful. You ain't got to tell me what it is. I don't need your compliments because I know that they're backhanded compliments. My mother made sure to make sure my brother and I were aware that everything that fits everybody else don't fit you. You will never catch me with blonde hair. You won't never catch me in pastel colors on my skin. You won't catch me with blood red lipstick. None of that kind of stuff. Because you have to be mindful. Because people who are lighter than you will always tell you, oh, you look great in that. And then behind closed doors, you look like a monkey. You look like a fool. Your lips look like a baboon's ass and all kind of things. I got stories for days. For me, I just want to see how far this girl stands in her truth and how long she stands in the truth. I really don't have no interest in watching this show, and I probably won't, but we'll see how far it goes. We'll see if the outrage continue, or like the rest of the problems in the minority community, if this is something that's a fad, if it's going to die down for a minute, and really see how many of you put your money where your mouth is, if you're going to stand behind her, if you're going to support her, and you're going to take her all the way to the Grammys. That's really, my opinion about it. Feel free to comment, feel free to share. I welcome all your feedback. Thank you.